Okay, double suited card with an ace and a king, looks fabulous, pair in his paw. How bad is he pre-flop to me? Well, let's have a look at this. Great little odds thing this one is. Look at that, guys. 70 to 29. Now, when you drop below 30% in PLO pre-flop, you're in trouble. All right, invariably, because that's pretty ropey. All right, this hand is cack in relation to mine. All right, watch this. He gets carried away with his poor hand. I repop him and he's got to think, well, that's aces or kings. If I've got aces or kings, this hand's dead meat. But he doesn't realize that, which is fine for us. I mean, we're tuna hunting and we'll take every penny that's going. He doesn't realize how badly off he is, and at that point he can run away. So if he's testing the water with that and I've pumped him back, then he can run away with this hand, but he's just blindly ignoring it. He goes for it, and there you go. He's got two pair, 9s and 5s. Wow. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's check, pump it all in. Where's his redraws? What's he hoping for? A 9? You know, 2 outs? This is crazy stuff. So in he goes, spanks off his stack. And by the way, on the flop, when he commits all his money, he's got 12.44% chance. In other words, suicide. So there you go, people. That's just a few of the winning hands there. So let's pause this for a second. Okay, so I've got one hand to show you left. Okay, very entertaining. Remember Louis spanking off money here, left, right and centre, playing with trash basically, or getting himself involved with a hand which is just totally crushed. So here we are, he's out of position again. Bear here with a double suited ropey hand. I am fully aware of how delicate this hand is, okay? So, but I have position, which is critical. I get Louis calling me off, not a surprise. Shorty repops me here, and I'm thinking, well, alright, if Shorty's repopping me, aces or kings, okay. I got the double suited hand here, 4 separate cards. So if we give him the best hand of aces, then I can play this in position if I flop the right colour. And obviously, critically, hopefully flop something that hits my hand, like 2 pair or something. Okay, so, disaster. As soon as I see that, I'm not interested. I ain't drawing nothing. I've got no pair, alright, I've got no diamonds, and I ain't drawing, well, a few outs there, but forget it, man. I'm just not gambling on something like calling off on a 7 or something stupid like that. Do you know what I mean? Or a jack. That'd just be dumb. So I ain't going down that route. So it's check, bet, 26 bucks. I'm in position. No thank you. Instantly finish with the hand. Okay? So yes, I paid a little bit to see the flop, but if I saw it, I reckon I'm taking Shorty's stack. But I've backed off. Right play. No mistake by me. Louis here, checking here. Check raises. Right, so you've now got to put Louis here on either a couple of pair, 2 pair, nut flush draw, set. That's the only logical thing I can think of here. Shorty here with 69 behind him elects to go for it. Against, to be honest with you, the table crazy. Alright, 10 comes, 6 comes, board paired. Let's have a look at the hand, shall we? Look at that. Pair of 9s. Jack, 9, 9, 5. Calling a raise out of position with a pile of trash. Alright, I mean, suicide that is. Gap at the top as well. Yuck. Shorty then shows his hand, and look at that. He had king, king, 8, 7. So you're thinking, okay, how good or bad is that? Well, if you actually look at that, alright, it's understandable, although I still think it's incorrect for Shorty to call off everything if he's got his opponent or something like set, or even worse, nut flush draw, because he's not got the nuts here. And again, remember, I keep talking about drawing to the nuts. Shorty hasn't got the nuts. He's got the second nut flush draw, and look at that, 7, 8, 6, 7, 8, 9. So he's got a straight draw, alright, although he could get pwned at the higher end if a 10 came, for example, which he did, because think about it, Jack King beats his straight. So look, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, okay, as he's straight, but it's not the top end, is it? Jack King owns it. But it's one of those situations where you can understand why Shorty went for it, simply because it's this guy. Do you know what I mean? But if you stick to the strict rule of thumb here, he hasn't got the nut flush draw here, and he hasn't got the nut straight draw one way. How much of a gamble is this guy gambling off? Let's look at it again anyway. Pre-flop. So bear on button, shorty here, double suited Kongs. So where's shorty's mistake? Well, I can see where it is here. Look, Louis 0.19 EV pre-flop. In other words, a pile of crap. Shorty here in three-way hand, 0.567, looking decent. Bear 0.24 in position. So where's shorty's mistake? Well, it's very, very simple. Raise, flat call. He needs to pump it now, right? Which is what he does. He pumps it. Fine. Okay. Flat call by bear. Flat call by this hand. This hand needs dumping. It's rubbish. So that's why I feel so sorry for shorty here. Is this guy's playing on 2 outs, technically speaking. And the flop comes and he hits it, which is a miracle for him. Check, shorty bets, I get out of the way, and the only thing I can say is, can shorty fold there? Well, against a strong player playing strong hands, I think shorty's got a case for folding that hand because he's not drawing to the nuts in so many directions. Yes, it looks like a tight fold, but only against a strong player. And I'm talking, you know, really strong, good player, playing good hands. Louis here, I just think because it's this guy, he's elected to go for it. You know, he's got his pair as well, and it's totally understandable. How badly off is shorty though in this position? Well, with bear out of the hand, Louis is at 50.50. Shorty's 0.37, bear would be 0.12, and obviously I've folded. So it's not a disaster, but it's not great, if you know what I mean. So he's not that far behind, but it's still $69 to call off on that, and I think that's where he gets found out, simply because he's not drawing to the nuts. But let me just show you some data here. On this table, we've brought him up here, if we can here. This is Louis' stats, okay? And as you can see, he's actually up $14. What you can't see below this little mouse clicker here is all the hands this guy lost. And if it wasn't for that $117 pot, because that's how much it was, people, this guy would have been down over $100 after only 42 hands. So that's why I have sympathy for his opponent there, and I understand why he called him off. So what am I looking at here? And this is the bit I'm going to talk about here. Pen and paper, you ready? We're going to go through some basic principles. When you're playing low stakes poker, tight is right. You've heard it before, no limit hold'em, etc. But on PLO, it's even more important. I was sitting on those 4 sessions I've shown you here, guys. Well, I've shown you 2. I've got 2 more I can go through. I'm just going to pull up a couple of hands just to give you a couple of ideas here, because what I want to focus on is this figure here. Can you see it in the bottom right here? This is Louis, right? Complete, without being rude, complete bonkers. 81% in the pot. I mean, it's like, oh my god. Right, so when you take that into consideration, it is understandable, right, that his opponent called him off and stacked off on him there, and it's just super unlucky, right, that one miracle hand, you know, when he called off and he hit his 2 outs, that bailed him out. Under normal circumstances, somebody playing like that would just get stacked constantly, but you know, he's playing 81% of his hands. Bonkers, absolute bonkers. So pot limit Omaha, to avoid the variance and the crushing stuff there, right, play it tight, play good solid hands, alright. Make sure you're playing in position, alright. So tight hands, good stuff, right, and play them in position where possible, alright. If you do that and avoid the dodgy hands with gaps at the top, you know, so for example, if you've got like 7, 8, 9 and queen, or 7, 8, 9 with a jack at the top, it's playable, but it's risky. Okay, if you're going for your rundowns, try and get them all connected. If there's a gap in the middle, it's not a problem. If there's a gap at the bottom, not a problem. Avoid the gaps at the top, simply because you can end up finding yourself chasing for your straight and you don't have the nuts at the end of it. Somebody's got a bigger straight. Okay, ensure your starting range is coordinated. If you're going to go with an ace, make sure it's suited. Do you know what I mean? And just watch your call rate. And what, I'll give you an example here. He's 81%. Okay, let's pull up the stuff here for some other hands here. Bear here at the moment. See that 30% after 12,900 odd games. In that particular session, I was calling off at about 30%, a little bit higher than I'd like. okay? But you can see here in other sessions, 25, 22, 23, okay? And that's what I would say you should be aiming for, if you can in this. Round about 25. If you're going to go up to 30%, you want to be doing that with raises, okay? So you're going in there, and you're going in there aggressively, playing aggressive poker. So like your pre-flop raise rate, you know, if you're going in at 30%, you want a pre-flop raise rate of at least 20. Do you know what I mean? Aggressive stuff there. But keep it tight. Don't go gambling with the fishies, because you'll end up getting shafted. If you go with a dodgy hand, and he's going with a dodgy hand, then it's even Stevens. You go with a strong hand, then you want the odds to bail you out in the end. So if it's 60-40 or 65-35, do you know what I mean? In the end, you'll win. You just need time, okay? But the better your hand, the better you increase your chances of beating that guy when it comes to the flop and the turn. Target, I've got it down here, target the tuner. Well, we've just seen Louis there, right? So anybody on PokerStars, because that's where he plays, write down his name. Luay 196622. This guy is just dying to give it away. If I pull up some stats on other people that are playing in some of the other tables, here's another person, 42%. Here's another person, 42%. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh my word. And on the 4 tables I've played in the last 2 days at low stakes PLO, I had on 2 sessions, or sorry, in 2 tables, I had me at about 28 to 30%. I was actually down at 25 at one point, but I upped my range a little bit because these guys were just playing crazy stuff. These guys were all 50% or more. It was just, it was like red on my tracker. They're all 50%, and I had one guy at 65, 70. So I had a 6-man table, right? Think about it. There's a little bear, and I had 5 players on it showing 50% or more. It was just like bingo. So it was all a matter of tight is right, select the tuner, look for those guys. If you're on a table of maniacs, then you just keep it nice and tight, wait for the hand, and when you've got it, pwn him. You know, no slow playing, bang, bang, bang. All right? Draw to the nuts. I've written that down on my sheet. You've seen a few hands there, you know, calling off on 2nd or 3rd nut flushes, you know, calling off on the wrong end of a straight, where you know that by calling that, if you hit your straight, somebody can have a higher straight. Criminal mistake. Calling off, chasing a straight when the potential flush could come on the turn. Don't do it, guys. You know, you draw to the nuts. Simple. I know it's not very attractive. You think, oh, it's a gambling game. Well, yeah, let the tuner gamble. Okay, let the tuner gamble. You're not there to gamble. You're there to win their money. And always, always remember that. And it's all about discipline. And again, these is my suggestions. What you do with them is up to you. I'm just giving you, I've played a few hands, I've given you a few ideas, but don't go gambling with the tuner. That's what they want you to do. Because then when you get a couple of unlucky breaks, when their luck obviously kicks in, you're going to go on tilt and you're going to spank off your money. Yeah, you might be a better player than them, but in the short period, it's a coin flip. And in some cases, their luck's going to be in, yours is going to be out, and before you know it, you can blow hundreds of dollars in pot limit Omaha in minutes. It just takes a couple of stupid moves. Okay? So don't gamble with the tuner. You, as I said, you want to gut them. You want their money, so you pick the spots, you pick the hands, and you pick them apart. And that's how you tackle variance to an extent on PLO. Okay? The bit that goes with this, and I employed this the other day on these 2 sessions here, so we're going to play a few hands for you here, but look at my call rates there, 32 and 38. Now I upped it because in this particular top table, this was the one here where everybody was well over 50%, and as I said, I had one guy about 65, 70, so I actually upped my voluntary into the pot, but I was doing a lot of it with raises. Okay, this one at 32, and again, a lot of people calling on this one here. But these 2 tables, just to give you an idea, I was sitting there playing tightish poker, waiting for the hands, going in and then backing off when I didn't have the nuts, or, you know, commit maybe $10 or $8 sometimes, and then thinking that I haven't got $5, and thinking, nah, this is crazy, I haven't got it, I'm backing off, and thinking, this is really pissing me off. You know what I mean? At one point on this table, I was nearly, let me think, $30 down. I mean, it's nothing. In monetary terms, it's nothing, right? But in stack terms, at the stack sizes we were playing at, I'm thinking, what the hell's going on here? I'm thinking,